worship this morning online. We come together for worship and begin with a musical prelude offered by our Director of Music, Scott DeVoe. Thank you, Scott. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the UU Congregation of Charlottesville. My name is Reverend Leah Durland Jones, and it is wonderful that we have gathered together for worship this morning, both online and here in our building. This sanctuary was built over 70 years ago on land that was the homeland of the Monacan people, and that was once cared for by enslaved people from Africa and their descendants. We honor all who dwelt here and all in our congregation whose lives led to this moment and to our gathering as a community of memory and hope. I invite you now to take a moment to greet others who are with us in worship this morning. Those online may unmute and say hello to one another, and those here in our sanctuary or in the social hall are welcome to greet your neighbors, especially those you may not know.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Even though it's cold and dreary, it's still a good morning, right?
Oh, better than yesterday. Yesterday was horrible.
Yeah, yesterday was horrible. That's true. So, silver linings, you've got to look for them.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Noisy.
Who's lighting the shelves?
Ooh, that is a good
Somebody's
question.
watching a football game.
Ron and Wanda, do you have a lot of clocks in the background?
Okay, we're muting again.
I'm sorry, what was that question again?
It's good to be together. We welcome those who are new to our congregation and invite you to join us for fellowship after the service. Feel free to use one of our red coffee mugs, which are for newcomers to our congregation. We continue to ask that everyone in the sanctuary and throughout the building keep your high quality N95 or KN95 mask in place, covering both your nose and your mouth. If you don't have a face mask with you, we have extras available and are happy to get you one. When you're in the social hall, you may remove your mask while actively eating or drinking, but we ask those not actively eating or drinking to please keep your mask on. We see the continued wearing of face masks while indoors as an act of kindness that keeps everyone, especially those most at risk, as safe as possible while we continue to navigate life during the ongoing pandemic and flu season. You may notice that hand sanitizer is provided in the pews, and you are invited to use that as needed. In addition to seating here in our sanctuary, seating is available in the social hall, where you can watch a live stream of the service. Families with young children are most welcome in the sanctuary, but if you need a roomier space, anyone needs a roomier space, the social hall can be a good option. We want you to do whatever it is you need to do to feel comfortable as we worship together. Many thanks to all the folks helping us share worship both here and online, our on-site greeters and ushers and hospitality and logistics team. Special thanks to our AV team of Rachel Buckland and Sean Scally, supporting the dual platform worship both online and here on Rugby Road. And of course, our thanks to our Director of Music, Scott DeVoe, for sharing his musical gifts. And I am pleased to be weaving this morning's worship with Reverend Tim. Now, here to greet you from your Board of Trustees is Board President Pam McIntyre.
Good morning. Oh, over that way. Oh, let me try again. Good morning. I want you to know that I love being on the board. I love how each board member comes with their own different perspective and how we work towards common goals. And I really, really love it when one person says, I don't agree. And then someone else says, wow, interesting. And then we all become wiser through our conversations. In the next month, we're going to expand these conversations to include all our friends and our members in the congregation as we move forward with our first developmental goal of defining a broad shared vision for our purpose for being a congregation. We're going to be asking, what is our mission? We'll be having small groups and large group conversations and asking, when do you feel most engaged and connected with the congregation? What is meaningful to you? How would you like UUCville to be known in the larger community? And so many other questions. It's going to be really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Here are this morning's announcements. The congregation's Board of Trustees, in consultation with the Building Use Task Force, decided that at this time we can safely gather as a large group in our sanctuary with the Rugby Road doors of the church closed. Other doors will remain open in order to continue to provide fresh air circulation in our spaces. Immediately following our service this morning, all are invited to stay for a sandwich luncheon as part of our church's winter holiday party. There are activities for all ages, including holiday craft making, crafts for purchase by artisans in our congregation, wreath making, selfies with Santa. We hope all will stay and enjoy this festive time with friends, old and new. Next Sunday, December 18th, is a special multi-generational holiday music worship service. at 11 a.m. And as part of this service, we will be receiving donations of fresh fruits, vegetables, and other perishable holiday foods for those in our congregation whose budgets are extra tight this holiday season. Donations of cleaning supplies are also very appreciated. So again, next Sunday, bring your donations of fresh fruits and vegetables and plan to enjoy a service focused on the gift of music. On December 24th, we will have 2 Christmas Eve services, our 4:30 p.m. interactive nativity and our 7 p.m. traditional candlelight service. Potluck cookie receptions will be held after both services, so please bring cookies to share if you can. And then please note that at 11 a.m. on Sunday, December 21st and Sunday, January 1st, there will not be in-person worship. We will worship on Zoom only. Again, December 25th, January 1st, Zoom only at 11 a.m. Now let us center ourselves for worship.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Good to see so many folks here in person. It's wonderful. And welcome to those of you who are on Zoom. It's great that you are all joining us this morning. I want to begin by offering some opening words from Daniel Cantor. To love life is to notice the wonders that abound. To notice the wonders that abound is to be grounded here and now. To be grounded here and now is the beginning of finding love for this life, for all living things, and for this wondrous planet that is our home. Let us ground ourselves in this instant in the worship of all things good and right. Come, let us worship together. I'd now like to invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn. It's number 21 in the gray hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth, and the words will also be on the screen. Please rise. You may be seated. I'd like to invite Nancy. Would you please come forward and light our chalice, flaming chalice? Rachel, as Nancy lights the chalice, can you put the words of our unison chalice lighting up, please? We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts, and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. And now our hand motions. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Wonderful. I would now like to invite our young and young at heart to come forward and join us down here, join Reverend Leah and I down here on the red carpet. So please come on down.
Young at heart. That means grown-ups can come too.
Yes.
We're gonna do some fun things up here. So
absolutely.
If you're feeling
Please,
at
have a
all
seat.
young at heart, this is your chance. Come on down. We'd love to have some grown-ups here.
Absolutely. There you go.
Thank you, Kim.
I like it.
Still a chance. Oh, we need more people up front. We're gonna need some helpers in a minute. So don't be shy. Come on forward. Thank you, Haley. Good to see you coming forward too, Frank. Absolutely.
All right. So today is the third Sunday of Advent. And you can see we have our Advent wreath here. And today we will light 3 candles on the wreath, the candle of hope and joy that we have lit the last 2 Sundays, and today the candle of love, which we light for the first time. May the candle of love that we light today remind us of the love that we have in our lives, the love that we share in this congregation, and the love that Jesus of Nazareth shared with the world, a love that was kind, welcoming, healing, and shared with all people.
Thank you, Louisa. All right. Well, our Advent wreath has been lit and it looks beautiful, as does our altar, which also has a Yule log on it today and lots of light. Lots and lots of light. I love all the sparkle and light and decoration of the season. And I'm wondering, what are some of the things that those of you who are here on the rug, what are some of the things you look forward to about this time of year? What are the things you like about this season? Anybody? Toys. Yes, toys. I think a lot of us are looking forward to toys. Absolutely. What's something else that you're looking forward to this time of year? Or maybe something that you remember from a previous year that you hold in your heart and feel happy feelings about. I saw, Ryan, you had your hand up. You like decorating, yes. And your family was one of the families that stayed and helped decorate our congregation's beautiful holiday tree. Ian. Cookies, yes. Oh, I love making cookies and eating them too. Yeah. I see Kelsey and Isaac have something they want to share.
He was saying yikes.
Yites, as in lights. Yes. I like the yites too. I do. I bet there are a lot of people here. I'm wondering, anybody sitting in a pew or in the balcony, what are some of the things that you look forward to or memories that you have that are precious to you? Anybody? Ruth?
Singing Christmas carols.
Oh, singing Christmas carols. Yes. Yeah. Time with family. Absolutely. Meg?
My sister and I used to always dance at Christmas Eve service.
Oh, your sister and you used to dance at the Christmas Eve service. Nice. Maybe that's a tradition we could explore here, dancing at the Christmas Eve service. Yeah. Yeah.
My family always had a Christmas Day party, pretty unusual, and all of the neighbors and friends and business people and all, you know.
Wow. So Deborah says her family used to have a Christmas Day party that sounds like neighbors and community members, and it was just this big shindig that lots and lots of people came to, a Christmas Day party. Nice. Nice. Yeah, Kim.
I remember waking up as a little girl, and it's just that feeling of Christmas morning and waking up and running out into the living room where the Christmas tree was and something new was there.
Yeah. So Kim says she remembers waking up as a little person and the feeling in her body of total excitement and running out into the living room to see what new thing was there to be discovered. Yeah, absolutely. So Reverend Tim, I'm wondering about you. What memories do you have or things that you particularly enjoy about this time of year?
Yes, well, there's so much that I enjoy, Reverend Leah. I remember when I was a little boy, I was the only child in my family, so I ended up getting lots and lots of presents. And so coming out, as Kim said, on Christmas morning was very exciting because there was always lots and lots of stuff. So, and I love the cookies and all the wonderful food and the music. It was all so great. But you know, Reverend Leah, I know for some people, this time of year can be kind of hard. And I will say that when I was young, there was lots of wonderful things going on, but there were some people in my family that always didn't get along very well with each other, and that could be a little stressful. So, that's another memory that I have. But once I grew up and got married and had my kids, now the holidays are just pure joy. How about you?
Well, I really hear you, Reverend Tim, about this time of year also maybe having some sadness in it. And I know that for a lot of us, we can feel sad because people that we care about or want to spend time with are apart from us, either because of distance, they're far away and we can't see them, or because of death, they're no longer living, and we grieve that and we miss them. So there's sadness as well as happiness this time of year.
Yes.
And one happy memory that I remember from growing up that is a precious one for me is my older sister and my younger brother and I would always sleep all in one bed on Christmas Eve because we were all so excited we couldn't really sleep. So we'd sleep in one bed and we'd listen to the radio, and it would be tracking Santa. And so we would be sleeping together, not sleeping together, and waiting for when we could get up.
Yeah.
So, well, we have a story that we want to share with everyone this morning, and it's a story that I particularly love to hear and tell this time of year because it is a Celtic legend, and it is the story of the Oak King and the Holly King. And I'd like to hear this story this time of year because I think about the months of winter that are ahead of us. Sometimes I wish we would just have our holiday lights all the way through March, because I feel like I want to see that reassurance of the light returning. So this is a good story to help us all remember that, because in January and February, it can be so cold and dark. So this story helps us remember to think about resting in the dark, because we know the light will return again. So have you all ever noticed how often holly is used as a decoration this time of year? Holly is often a symbol of the holiday season. In Celtic traditions, the Oak King and the Holly King are two faces representing the duality or opposites of dark and light. The Holly King rules from Litha, or summer solstice, in June until Yule, or winter solstice, in December. And the Oak King rules from Yule, or winter solstice, until Litha, or summer solstice. Really, though, these are two sides of the same energy, an energy that is within each of us, an energy that we must all learn to balance. So we have some pretend oak branches here and some pretend holly branches. And we want to invite everybody, maybe on the first pews and here on the red rug, to help us tell our story this morning. Will you help us do that? So some of you are going to be part of the Oak Kings team. And some of you are going to be rooting for the Holly King. So you'll know that you're part of the Oak Kings brood of people because you've got a lighter leaf with an acorn on it. And the Holly team has darker leaves and red berries. So whenever you hear Reverend Tim or myself say Oak King, if you have an oak branch, you're going to hold it over your head and you're going to shake it. And whenever you hear us say Holly King, if you have a holly branch, you can hold it over your head and shake it as your sign of support. So we're going to pass out just a few more. If you're not close enough to get one and you want to run forward, I think Tim has a few left to hand out.
I do.
Anybody in the balcony wants to run down and get one?
2 more. Scott wants one. Okay. Whoops, sorry. The Music King. Here we go. What? Oh, this doesn't have an acorn. There we go. Okay. 1 more. There you go, Tori. Okay.
All right. So now let us all enjoy the story of the battle royale between the Oak King and the Holly King. Cold and bright, the winter solstice dawn breaks. Time out of mind, the stones have stood marking the zenith and the nadir of the sun's journey across the sky. Placed by our ancient hands with stone on stone, they were shaped and pulled from the earth's embrace. With magic raised upon this sacred land, and at this time of the winter solstice, a figure waits. He waits in darkness and stillness for the coming of the dawn, the rising of the sun, and the footsteps of his brother. The Oak King turns to greet the Holly King and asks, "Brother, what is your name?"
To which the Holly King replies,
"Come on, Holly King."
"I am the King of Holly, Lord of the waning year. I strip bare your leaf-ridden trees. I bring darkness to this land and peace. I banish the warmth of summer and welcome the iciness of winter. And you, my brother, what is your name?"
To which the Oak King replies, "I am the King of Oak, Lord of the waxing year. I bring bud to leaf. I bring life to earth. I banish the cold of winter and welcome the warmth of spring. Brother, where do you come from?"
To which the Holly King replies, "I come from the other world, and at the time of your greatest power, I am born into this world. I ride on Rhiannon's horse to claim my throne. Laughing with the wild hunt, I ride through the night sky. My cold breath will make way for the coming of the Kailich, and the land will be bathed in the beauty of ice and darkness, while summer blossoms in your heat, so winter will have peace, reflection, and renewal. Guarded by Orion of the silver belt, and you, my brother, where do you come from?"
To which the Oak King replies, "I come from the other world. And at the time of your greatest power, I am born into this world, called by the singing of the birds of Rhiannon. The warmth of my breath awakens the life within the earth, and the land is bathed in the beauty of love. Whilst winter is ruled by cold and ice, so summer blossoms, caressed by the heat of my gazing eye. Brother, what art do you perform?"
To which the Holly King replies, "I give space to thought, bring renewal from death, bring rest to life, transformation to your crown of green. I light the inner fire and the hearth, and quicken the heart of the beast. My bards are the stillness of the winter sky, the reflection on the water, the tears of the ice. Life returns to that place where dreams are foregathered. Lovers lie before the flickering fires in their homes, and new life is nourished as my lady Kalich strips bare the branches and lays her cloak of white across the land. And you, my brother, what art do you perform?
To which the Oak King replies, I lift the saddened heart, bring life to death, shape the hidden green, give flight to birds and insects. My bards sing upon their wing, and my orchestra plays music within the wind. Life returns, and in that space where thought becomes dream, lovers walk upon the warm earth and lay under the stars and the sun together. And I am here, brother, to take your crown.
Then take this crown, but know this. Even though you begin your rule, my frost will continue to fall. My touch will turn leaf to earth, turn the fields to hardened mud, and I will cool the oceans. For although you take the power of light, I retain the power of winter until your love joins you at the springtime celebration of Beltane.
And so ends our story of the battle royale between the Oak King and the Holly King. So I will ask our story helpers to return their props and then make your way back to your seats. Tim's going to collect your props from you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We share this ancient story with each other to remind us all that we are intimately connected to the cycle of the seasons and to the ever-changing spiral of birth, life, death, and rebirth. So let us join now together in a time of centering. Notice your breath as you feel it moving in and out of your body. Breathing in, breathing out. Not rushed, just normal. Breathing in ease. Breathing out whatever needs to let go. And notice what it feels like to be you in your body right now. If you are comfortable doing so, close your eyes and see if you can imagine that you feel strong, sturdy, healthy roots coming down through your feet and joining with the precious soil of our beautiful Mother Earth. Let yourself tune into the power of your roots, connecting with the earth and feeling strong, feeling grounded. Feel yourself and your roots connecting and stretching and being nourished by what you notice is an interconnection to that spiraling circle of life around you. And if you feel comfortable doing so, and in a way that feels respectful to your neighbor if you are seated near others, I invite you to Imagine your arms are like the sturdy, strong branches of a mighty tree, and to lift them up as if you are stretching towards the sky. And notice the energy that is coursing through your veins, from your roots to your branches, and stretch as you take in a big inhalation and then a big exhalation. And maybe let your branches sway a little in the wind as you bring your arms back down to a resting position. And now take in another big inhalation and a big exhalation. And perhaps shake your legs a little bit. Again, mindful of your neighbors if you are seated near others. And as you feel yourself internalizing the grounded energy you received from Mother Earth, bring your feet to a resting position and become aware again of your breath as we sit together in a moment of silence. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, we are grateful for this time together in a loving community of all ages. May this space and time be a place of comfort and ease for those who are sad or hurting. And may this time and place be one of support and love for all. May we know that whatever the season, we aspire to extend to one another compassion and care with a kind word and a listening ear. May we continue to each do our best to help make the human family healed and whole. Amen, and blessed be. We are part of an interconnected community that cares for one another, and part of how we embody this care is by making time to share the joys and sorrows that we hold in our hearts. This morning, there were no joys or sorrows that were submitted, but I will light a candle for all that are unspoken, whether they are too large or too small, too joyful or too sad, but remain in the sanctuary of our hearts.
This community offers its love and support to what is closest to our hearts. Another way we show our care for one another is in sharing our financial gifts with our community and our congregation. Our monthly social action collection is being taken for Birth Sisters of Charlottesville, a community-based doula collective supporting women of color through their birth journey and into motherhood. The aim of Birth Sisters is to amplify the resiliency of Black, Indigenous women of color by drawing on life experiences, shared values, training, and sacred legacies to provide culturally rooted, trauma-intuitive perinatal services and advocacy. Rachel, could you show us the social action slide for giving? Each week, we invite everyone into the spiritual practice of generosity by giving to the ministry of our congregation. Through your pledges and with the weekly Sunday morning offering, together we build the future of our congregation and our larger community. This is our shared ministry. During the music which follows, you may choose to make your Sunday morning offering by using the text address or going to our website. Here in the sanctuary, you may bring cash or checks forward. During this musical prayer, you're invited to share not only financial gifts, but you're also invited to share the joys and sorrows in your hearts. Those online may put them in the chat box, and those of you in the sanctuary may come forward to place a stone in the water. The stone symbolizes what is in your heart, and the water represents the soothing embrace of our community offers for your joys and sorrows. Also during this time, you may bring any gift cards that you have brought for our giving tree, and you may place them in the red bag or the boxes there on the chancel. And let us dedicate all of the many gifts we share with one another by saying, we accept your gifts with gratitude. May we use them wisely for the highest good.
Thank you, Scott. Our ministry theme this month is the path of wonder. And this morning, I want to explore together the wonder all around us and in our interconnectedness. When I think of wonder and the wonder all around us, I think about the majesty of the universe, what it is like to look up and gaze at the moon and the stars on a cold winter night, and how they shine and remind me simultaneously of both my small part in the bigger whole and my interconnectedness to everything, our interconnectedness to everything. Each season offers miraculous things all around us that point to the gifts of wonder in our lives. Things like how every snowflake is different from every other snowflake, and how warm bowls of soup or hot cups of tea or cocoa can make us feel like we are wrapped in a blanket of love. How by sharing what we have with others, a smile or a friendly greeting to a stranger, or an extra financial gift if we are able, to a hardworking person who offers us service, like the mail delivery person or the trash collector, or by offering a listening ear to another. We each are part of the wonder, interconnected to each other and the wonder. We just need to remember. In her poem, Mysteries, Yes, Mary Oliver writes, "Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing to the mouth of lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, 'Look,' and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads." Over the Thanksgiving holiday, Karen, Annalee, and I gathered in Canton, Ohio, at the home of Karen's parents. We always bring our dogs, Lucky and Maggie, when we visit Ohio, too. And one of my favorite things to do while we're there is to take the dogs and go on a daily walk at a new county park nearby. For a long time, this land of the park had been a 36-hole golf course. And when the owner retired, the golf course was converted into a park with lovely walking trails surrounded by trees. Old, beautiful, large, majestic trees that are special. And one afternoon, as the dogs and I were beginning our walk, we encountered a gentleman who was finishing up his walk. He had binoculars around his neck and a camera with a large lens over his shoulder. I said hello and asked him what birds he had seen on his visit. His response was brief. He said something like the usual. I shared with him that I had received a monocular for my birthday from my sister, but that I had forgotten to bring it with me from Virginia. I asked him about some birds I had seen previously in the park that I hadn't been able to identify, and we talked for a few minutes, and he became more friendly, sharing his thoughts and knowledge with me. And then he told me what he really had been looking for that day on his walk. Merlins, small, fierce falcons that are powerful flyers. They migrate this time of year and use this park as a place to stop. Now, I had never seen a merlin before, and I was filled with wonder. He told me that they land at the very top of trees and that he had seen a couple of them that day. And then, just at that moment, he said, "Look, there's one." And he pointed to a bird in the air a distance from us. And sure enough, it landed on the top of one of the park's large trees. He lifted his binoculars, confirming the bird's identification, and then said to me, "Want to see?" And as he passed the binoculars over, I was delighted to be offered the chance to hold this stranger's binoculars and hold them up to my eyes to search and then see this merlin. It was a wonder to be introduced to them by this fellow bird lover and to feel the warmth of connection to a fellow human and also to this beautiful winged creature. I shared with this man my appreciation and passed the binoculars back, and we said goodbye. The pups and I started our walk, and I was able to identify and admire several other merlins that afternoon. Such a gift. This wonder that is all around us, the wonder that interconnects us. There seem to be more and more books and podcasts and films out. They're out there right now that are teaching us or reminding us of our interconnection to the web of life, especially on the topic of plants and trees. One of my favorite books is Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and another good one is Finding the Mother Tree by Suzanne Simard. Their stories remind us of the wonder and sacred power of being interconnected to each other and to the natural world. Niyama Penniman, Director of Education at Soulfire Farm, writes, "When Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast, almost everything lost its footing. Houses were detached from their foundations, trees and shrubbery were uprooted, signposts and vehicles floated down the rivers that became the streets. But amidst the whipping winds and surging water, the oak tree held its ground. How? Instead of digging its root deep and solitary into the earth, the oak tree grows its roots wide and interlocks with other oak trees in the surrounding area. You can't bring down 100 oak trees bound beneath the soil," she says. She continues, "How do we survive the unnatural disasters of climate change, environmental injustice, over-policing, mass imprisonment, militarization, economic inequality, corporate globalization, and displacement?" She says, "We must connect in the underground, my people. In this way, we shall survive." End quote. Yes, we must connect to one another, to those we know and don't yet know, and stay connected. The opportunities to do so are all around us, wrapped with wonder and possibility. May we continue our collective nurturing of our interconnectedness to one another, to the human family, and to the larger web of life. One way we do this is through our congregation's annual Giving Tree and the beautiful and generous outpouring of support offered through the gift cards you have donated. Thank you. Together, we have strengthened our interconnectedness by gathering gifts to be distributed through the family support team at Greer Elementary School for families that would otherwise go without this holiday season. Our Giving Tree also provides gifts for families in our own congregation who I know thank you for your love and your generosity. We each make a difference by sharing with others and offering what we can. Even as we might despair that there is so much that needs healing in our world, that there is so much still to be done, our gifts, our connection are appreciated more than we can know. If you didn't have a chance to participate in the Giving Tree, you can speak with me or with Reverend Tim after today's service. But for now, I want to invite you to let your heart be filled with a sense of love and gratitude for this community and what we do together. Thank you for being here this morning to celebrate the miracle of what a group of people can create together, which is so much grander than what any of us can do alone. So let us celebrate the wonder and the beauty of this time of year, reflected back to us in the faces of children and friends and family, and also in the faces of those we do not know. I invite you to remain seated and please speak with me now the words to bless our Giving Tree gifts. We give thanks for the needs of our community that remind us of our common humanity. We give thanks for the needs of humanity that help us grow into the compassion of the Buddha, the love of Jesus, and the charity of Muhammad. We give thanks for the needs of our hearts that foster our commitment to share our lives and goods. We give thanks for the gifts given today, our concern, our companionship, our material goods that serve a greater good than we can accomplish on our own. May these offerings be a blessing to friends and strangers, neighbors all. May we honor and celebrate our place in the interconnected web of life. In peace we pray, amen. And now please rise in body or spirit for our hymn, O Giving Tree.
Well, what a joy it is for me to witness this extraordinary ritual and outpouring of love and support and generosity that this congregation does every year through the Giving Tree. It is really, really beautiful, and your generosity is greatly appreciated. A few minutes ago, when we were lighting the Advent wreath, I mentioned, and we were lighting the candle of love especially, I mentioned that Jesus of Nazareth was all about giving and sharing. He fed people, healed people, taught people, and helped so many find hope. Jesus believed so strongly in the power and importance of giving that he said, "It is better to give than to receive. And to those who give, much will be given." You know, I've thought a lot about that teaching of Jesus, to those who give, much will be given, and always wondered, what was he talking about? Was he talking about money, fame? Maybe you'll get your favorite video game? Well, I don't think that was it. And I want to share a very short and quick story with you today, a story I heard several years ago. It's a story told by one of my ministerial colleagues, Reverend Karen Anderson. And the story is about a person named Marcy who is out one night having dinner at a restaurant with a friend. As they begin eating, Marcy notices a woman has come into the restaurant and is approaching their table. The woman is very thin, dressed in pretty old-looking clothes, and she appears to be a bit agitated and upset. The woman walks right up to Marcy's table, reaches down, picks up her plate of food, turns around and walks out the door. The owner of the restaurant sees what happens and runs furiously outside after the woman. When he catches up to her, he tries to grab the plate. They struggle over it for a few seconds, and then, of course, all the food tips over and falls to the ground. The woman looks pretty sad and disappointed. The owner smiles. He seems proud of himself for preventing this woman from eating Marcy's food. When he comes back into the restaurant, he tells Marcy he's so sorry and that he'll bring her another plate. But after what has happened, Marcy has lost her appetite. So she asks for a box to take the food home. A few minutes after Marcy and her friend leave the restaurant, they see the woman who had taken Marcy's plate. She appears now that she's even more upset, and she's talking to herself in a pretty loud voice. As Marcy watches the woman, she begins to feel a little uncomfortable, a little nervous. She can even feel herself starting to shake a little bit. And there's a part of her that wants to just turn around and walk really fast in the other direction. But something keeps Marcy walking toward that woman. And when she reaches her, Marcy gives the woman the box of food from the restaurant. At first, the woman looks confused and doesn't understand what's going on. Then she recognizes Marcy and is incredibly surprised. And in that moment, she begins to calm down. She looks at Marcy and tells her that she's very kind. And then the woman starts to eat. And as she eats, she tells Marcy it's the only food she's had all day. Now, what I love about this story is that although Marcy gave something to another person, like Jesus taught, by giving and sharing, I think Marcy received so much more. She learned that when someone does something that we don't like or don't understand, maybe it's better not to respond with anger and revenge like the owner of the restaurant did. Marcy also found out how important it is to reach out, even when we're uncomfortable and a little nervous. Like Jesus always did when he met someone who was troubled, Marcy didn't judge, she didn't respond with anger, didn't run the other way. She reached out, she helped, she cared. And her simple act of caring not only fed someone who was hungry, it left Marcy with a heart that was more tender, a little more compassionate, and more willing to be kind, even when she was uncomfortable or afraid. That was the gift Marcy received, a gift that changed her life and filled her heart with the wonder of giving and love. Amen, and blessed be. So let's now rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, Christmas Carol, number 235. The words will also be on the screen. Deck the halls. Please rise.
As we end our time of worship and prepare to join each other in the food and the festivities that follow, including selfies with Santa, I offer these parting words as Reverend Tim extinguishes our chalice. May the wonder around, within, and connecting us to one another continue to be revealed to us. May we each be reminded of our unique place in the holy web of life, and may we know that we are always connected to and sustained by the larger love that holds us all. Go in peace and in love. Amen, and blessed be.